Hello, everyone, and welcome to Energized Living Today. I'm Cindy Kabika, and with me today is Lorelei Robbins, your favorite astrological guru. She is a spiritual astrologer. And the comments and questions that we've gotten specifically for Lorelei today have just been wonderful. And of course, we also have Ferris Poole.
Hi, y'all.
And Ferris is our producer. He's running the show, everything. He's going to be getting our questions for you, and he's going to be adding his own humor and expertise as well. So I welcome all of you. Thank you for being here, and thank you for such great questions that we've received. For those of you who have not asked your question yet, over in the chat box, just if you're on Zoom, you go down to the bottom, there's a little chat bubble, hit that, it will open up the chat window. Go ahead and put your questions in there, and we will get to as many of the questions as we can tonight. We're going to try and answer all of them if possible. And we're going to start off with the sampling that we had that we put in the email, because those actually were, I kind of put several questions together that were similar. So these seem to be questions that were a theme throughout the questions that people emailed us and put on Facebook that messaged me. So anyways, go ahead and put your questions in there. And I want to start off this conversation, as I always like to, with Lorelei just telling us about what's going on in the cosmic weather. So Lorelei?
Well, first of all, I want to congratulate any of you that are here tonight under a Scorpio last quarter moon. So you are obviously intrigued about this magic that we're talking about. And the reason I say that is we're in a last quarter moon now. And last quarter moon is the time to let go of whatever is in the way in your life. You know, it's preparing the ground, prepare to seed for the next new moon, which is in Aquarius, which is all about being who you are, being a genius, you know, allowing yourself to meet your own brilliance and ingenuity and originality and uniqueness. But in order to do that, we have to move things out of the way. So it's so perfect that we're doing this Q&A tonight, because when the moon is in Scorpio, there's an opportunity to get to the bottom of things. Like there's an opportunity to just drill things down, call a spade, reveal and expose, I've talked about this in my Miracle Minute today, at least to yourself, what is running the show, if you will. So in terms of this weather that we're together now, this is an opportunity to clear the decks so that you can have the space to move to this next chapter that comes at every new moon. So it really is kind of a perfect energy for us to be together in, because you may see something at greater depth, you know, where you go, oh my gosh, I didn't realize that was running me, that thing that's been in the closet, that very part of me that I haven't wanted to look at or haven't wanted to be with or have projected onto someone else. So again, a very, very powerful time now. All the planets are direct until March 5th, which is why it's so exciting we're doing this class, because we're doing it during the planets direct. And when all the planets are direct, we have a tailwind. So the more intentional and committed you are to what you want in your life, when all the planets are direct, you stand kind of more of a chance of having that happen with less effort, you know, because we can always, you know, depending on how much energy we want to expend in pushing those rocks uphill, you know, and then we're exhausted and we don't feel well and we get quote sick or we express. But when we have all the planets moving direct, it's sort of like, you know, be really clear what you want, because it's kind of like the difference between being on the mechanized walkway in the airport, right? Leave the driving to us, or walking that distance. Yeah, I always think of that when I think of all the planets direct. And then, of course, one more thing, Mars is in Aries now until Valentine's Day. So that's another indicator of it's time to do it, whatever it is for you. And we can't do it if the closets are full.
There you have it. Well, I'm excited about this opportunity to go through these questions, because you know, the weather is right. We do have the planets at our back, and with the people that are choosing to journey with us in our 6-week program, Lorelei and Ferris, are they're really going to have one aha after another as they're going through this different kind of shadow work than they have ever done before. So this gives them an extra push forward. And you know me, I'm all about transformation. And if you can get a tailwind like that, that kind of power behind you, then, you know, we are going to be better for it. So we're going to get more out of it than we ever did before. And the ahas that people will share with us, and we're going to get the ahas too, because that's also what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it. So let's go ahead and dive right into the questions. And again, I want to thank everybody for the questions. If you have questions now, go ahead and put them in the chat. The chat is over at the side or below, just depends on what technology you're on. And as we are talking today, we'll do a quick introduction of what we're doing, and then we'll get into the questions actually. That way you'll know what questions that you want to ask. And you know, we're doing a program, Dance with Your Soul Shadows. And your soul shadows are very different than shadows. Shadows can occur throughout your life because of things that happen to you. And a soul shadow, and this actually addresses one of the questions that we got, what is the difference between the two? A soul shadow is repeated throughout your life. There's a thread. It happens again and again and again. It seems to always hang with you. You can't seem to shake it because until you fully integrate whatever that is, it's going to stay with you. And it's where your biggest lessons in your life are going to come from. It's part of your soul contract. And your soul contract is an agreement that you made before you ever got here. So with that soul contract, obviously, comes shadows, and that's what a soul shadow is. Anything you want to add to that, Lorelei?
Well, only what I told you earlier today is that we call them soul shadows because only our soul remembers making them.
That's right.
Only our soul remembers making these contracts, and then we forget who we are. And then we remember as we live through life and have experiences and attract people who help us with all of this. Yeah. But I'm just so excited because we're taking shadow work to a new level. We're doing Star Trek here. We're doing all the planets direct. We're doing Mars in Aries, which is go where you've never been before. So we're taking something that exists and that people are certainly somewhat or more than that familiar with, but we're taking it, we're going on a new journey. And that's what's really exciting to me.
And that's what I love too. It's a new challenge. It's been exciting to write about. I shared last week in our last call that I'm writing a book, and this is all information that I started downloading and just started. I couldn't hardly write fast enough. It was coming so fast and furious, and it was so enlightening to learn. And I love it when that kind of thing happens. I would love to know how many of you have those experiences yourself, where just it comes and you go, wow, where did that come from? Well, it comes from the divine. That's where it comes from. And it's exciting because it's news to you too when you learn about it.
Yeah, and from an astrological standpoint, when we're in certain cycles, those cycles help aspects of shadow, soul shadow come out. Like all of a sudden in someone's life, they're having an opportunity to experience more anger, more passion, more power, whatever it is. It's like, oh, this cycle is, it's like, wow, I'm ready to meet this part of myself. So that's what's so interesting too, in terms of those who choose to journey with us. It's because there's a readiness there, they're feeling this along with us. And that's another thing that I find so exciting. It's sort of like, because the transformation that can occur in terms of, we'll be together for a new moon, we'll be together for a whole lunar cycle and a half, essentially. Making the most of the time period to be able to shed light, no pun intended, on the dark, so we can embrace the magic of the light and of our light.
Because there is magic in every shadow, there is magic. And we're going to show you to how to unveil that, because there's just a thin veil in front of it, which gives it a greater shadow until we move the veil over. And then it's like, oh my gosh, it's magic in your life. So let's go ahead and Ferris, if there's any other housekeeping notes, go ahead and tell everybody now if you want to explain how to raise your hand, or we're not raising hands. We're just keying in questions. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
All you got to do is take your cursor down to the bottom of the page there, the bottom of the Zoom page where the toolbar is, and make sure that you've got chat clicked, and the chat area will show up on your screen. And you know, the divine downloads, I get those. I just wish I could get them sometime other than in the shower so I could write them down.
Bed, Bath, and Busy.
There you go. Exactly.
That's when they come. And that's why Aqua Notes is one of your best friends. So everybody get Aqua Notes. You can get them on Amazon. It is a waterproof a notepad, and it has sheets. And I have it in my shower, and yes, great. I take a lot of notes when I'm taking a shower and just jot it down. It comes with a pencil. It's all waterproof, and you can just take notes and then just rip off the sheet and then go and transcribe it. And
do you realize if I'd had that, we could have had world peace by now.
Now you know, Ferris, I'll go online and order one for you, because mine are about full now. I've got to go order another one. But everybody, it's called Aqua Notes, and it's wonderful because we get our best ideas, Bed, Bath, and Busy. Yep.
I need that. Andrew wrote in to the Q&A, and he said, what helps one to accept themselves for who they are? In his case, his body, but for some, it's other things.
What helps in the shadow work?
Yeah.
You know, understanding.
I'm wondering if that's, yeah, I mean, that sounds like a question that's broader than that for him somehow. I mean, it's shadow's part of it, because I would say the more we're aware of who we are, then we know what how we're here to love ourselves. In other words, like, so it sounds like he says his body, so maybe he's overweight or whatever. But again, and that, you know, again, I don't know the astrological makeup, but let's say there's been a lot of judgment around that. Well, then there's an opportunity to choose to love the part of him. And again, I don't know this, Andrew, that it's you, but, you know, that is judgmental, you know, which again could be, so, you know, whether it's body, whether it's relationship, whether it's finances, you know, the reality is what it is. And then we have the choice to love ourselves right in that. And those would certainly be, depending on how recurring that is, that's very likely a soul contract. You know, like wherever you go, Andrew, with the body thing, you know, however you hold that, that very likely may be tied to, wouldn't you say, guys?
And I would say that the shadow would be self-love. Yeah, that's where your shadow is, lack of self-love. And, you know, you might be too thin, you may be too short, you may, you know, not like your hair color, whatever it is that you don't like. There are a lot of things that a lot of us wish were different, but, you know, like Norm Shealy says, love your body or leave it. And
good point.
Yeah. So we've got this is how we are. And once we love ourselves as we are, then that shadow no longer haunts us. That's one that we can actually let go and just, you know, I think this is a little deeper conversation, or a conversation that goes in another area. Not that it's deeper, but a conversation that goes in a little different area. But I'd say the shadow is, you know, lack of self-love.
And the shadow can definitely be a key part of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and self-acceptance. I mean, in other words, I mean, because I think of, well, anyway, it is another conversation, but I'm just thinking, Andrew, you're really speaking for everybody in a way, because we all, well, no, because what I want to say is, and again, I won't belabor the technicality of it, Chiron in Pisces moving to Chiron in Aries. Chiron is the wounded healer. It's been in Pisces for 7 to 8 years, went into Aries. Now it's back in Pisces. It'll go back into Aries February 19th. But the point of that is, we're at a point of, can I have you, any of us could be saying, can I have compassion, kindness, forgiveness for myself, everything I've ever done, not done, everything that's brought me, and I'm speaking for all of us here, to where I am today. And if I can do that, if I can have that kindness and compassion, then I will have the self-acceptance and the self-love. And then when Chiron moves into Aries, pardon my French, I don't have to be pissed off that I can't be who I am.
Mm-hmm.
So I just wanted to thank you for, the whole, that piece, because that's for everybody, that message. It's not just for Andrew, that's for all of us. But I think in your question, you're really bringing that into the, into the circle here.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's go ahead and get to the questions, some of the questions here, as people are continuing to write in. And Michelle says, LOL, love you, Ferris. Everybody loves Ferris. Ferris, you had the funniest comments. Some people, he wanted to know all your shadows.
His sense of humor is his shadow and his genius, right?
Yep.
Like Monk would say, it's a gift and a curse.
Right. Well, the first question that we have here is, are shadows from our life experiences, or are we born with them? And how can we tell the difference between the two? And that's something that that I kind of answered already, but let's start with the first part of that. And the shadow, yes, shadows come from your life experiences, but those life experiences are also part of your soul contract. You came here to have those experiences that expose those shadows that help you on your soul's journey. And for the ones that are your soul shadows, in other words, they are specifically part of your soul contract, you look for a thread that just a theme that goes throughout your life. If you keep having to deal with the same thing over and over and over and over again, then it's time to look at that shadow, look in the dark, and see what it is that you're missing. Yeah. See what's not being exposed to the light, because it's only when you pull that shadow, and sometimes it's kicking and screaming, let me tell you. Oh, you pull it into the light, and then you can face it head on and start to integrate that shadow.
You know what it just reminded me of when you said pull it into the light? It reminded me of Dorothy throwing the water on the Wicked Witch and her just dissolving.
I'm melting. That shadow's melting. Yep. That's great. I love it. So anything you want to add to that, the difference between the two? Or
well, I'm on that journey now, because this, as I said, we're spearheading something. So I'm in it, I'm looking real. I mean, and I'm, and I'm going, wow, I get where that's part of my soul contract, because that's something that repeats itself over and over. My value, starting the playground for the soul circles and not knowing what to charge and doing love offering and being so afraid to be that bring all of me to the table, and going, there's that value thing again. And, so yeah, so I just, again, I'm excited that we're doing this, and I'm excited for each of us as individuals and the collective, this group, but I'm excited for the ripple effect that what we're going to be doing in this 6 weeks is going to have on our respective worlds that we all are, that, each of us is in. So I'm excited about that as well, because everything we do affects the planet. So if we're cleaning up shadow or transmuting it, then we're giving the planet a gift as well.
I agree with that. And, another side to this, that, are you born with them? we are brought into this world with a personality temperament. Not only your sun sign, that is one element. This is when we did the program on the ologies, the meeting of the ologies. This is, this is astrology and psychology. So you look at your temperament. Who are you? And excuse me, we're going to be going through the 4 temperaments in the class. There's 4 different temperaments, and each one of those temperaments bring with it shadows. And some of the shadows, they are fleeting moments in our lives that are going to just quickly kind of come in, help us along the path. But those are ones, think of it like Maslow's hierarchy, or even the food pyramid, But in Maslow's hierarchy of needs, it's a pyramid like this. And on the bottom is survival. So some of these are to move you up that ladder to self-actualization. So it's the ones that actually get you all the way to the top. Those are the ones that are part of your soul shadows. The ones along the way that are just kind of a foot up to the next level, those are shadows that help with the ultimate goal. I hope that makes sense.
It makes total sense to me.
Yeah. In fact, right now I've been drawing a pyramid of the shadows and how they work to get you to enlightenment, to self-actualization. So any questions around that, please write them in. Ferris, do you have anything you want to add?
No, except I wonder how many people are going to have to look up Maslow because they don't remember it.
Oh,
in school.
Well, Maslow's hierarchy of needs, just think of the chakras, because base is survival. Yeah. It's your basic needs to survive. So, and then your sexuality, and then your personal empowerment, and then living from the heart, and then speaking your truth, and then opening your eyes to a new understanding, and then enlightenment. That's connection to the.
Well, and if you think about it too, I mean, just in this moment, the shadow are the 3 lower chakras.
Right.
I mean, that's the shadow energy. So in the heart, we connect it all, and then I see us moving kind of through the chakras as we do this. Isn't that interesting?
Yep.
Because the class is 6 weeks, but we did our intro or whatever last week, so we're really in the 7. We're in that 7-week period. So that's kind of interesting. I mean,
yeah. Yeah, I love it. I love it. And we will be talking about that because it's part of this pyramid that I'm drawing to help people understand how you make it up there, and looking for that common theme that goes, between each of the levels. And again, some of them are just a leg up to the next level, and you integrate that and then you move up.
Well, that's why when people say spiral, something spirals, right?
Yeah.
And they go, oh, here it is again, but it's at another level. Right. And it occurred to me when with the question about, are we born with this? Well, this is again where the astrological piece is that I again believe that the soul and the divine make an agreement, and we come in with these energies to dance in, to learn from, to express. So the chart again is another wonderful, not the only way certainly, but another wonderful way to, and this I think addresses another question that we got, to really be able to see, oh, now I can better understand this part of me that I've shamed, blamed, projected, put in the closet, made it about my mother, my father, my former spouses, whatever, So the chart, again, and the temperaments, more information to be able to understand these constructs.
Absolutely. And we'll be going through each of these as we go through. And then, one of the other questions that we got, of course, we will be using your chart. So you will be receiving, once you sign up, you'll be receiving an email. Each of us will ask for different things. Ferris might ask for something. I'll ask for something. And Lorelei will ask for your birth information so that she can have that on hand, because we will be using that throughout the class.
And you will, excuse me, sorry. I just wanted to say, you will, because some of you that may be journeying with us have journeyed with us before. Those of you that have not, you will receive your written personality profile. Okay. That will just be another wonderful tool to be able to use to understand all of this as it unfolds.
Beautiful, beautiful. Okay. Can you really fully integrate them? This is from Diane. And she said she's tried, and she said it keeps coming back up. Well, then it's still of use to you. Remember, these shadows, any shadow, all of these are energy. Energy cannot be created nor destroyed. It can only transform. And we have the opportunity to transform that energy. I talked last week about, my dog, where, Trooper, that I kept getting injured, and people in the house kept getting injured because he was so strong. And instead of being mad at him, because your knee-jerk reaction, if somebody hurts you, you want to hurt them back, you get angry. And one of my things that I've had to deal with in my life is my knee-jerk reaction, my temper. And I used that energy to still step back and say, no, I refuse to be mad at this perfect dog. And he is perfect. He's so amazing. He might be too big for me, but he's not too big for somebody. There's somebody out there. And I stated very specifically what I wanted, and emphatically to the universe, and said, I am love and light, and I'm going to find the right person for him. And I did. And she actually texted me again today and thanked me again. They are best buddies. She said, I can't even tell you how this dog is my perfect soulmate. And, the moment she saw him, the same day that I said that, it was that night, it happened. That's the kind of
well, that's the magic.
Yeah, that's the magic and the miracles that happen when you take that energy, and instead of trying to get over it, or shove it under the table, because that's not going to work. You work with it and say, I use that same energy that I would have directed towards somebody or towards him or whatever. Instead, I directed it towards what I wanted.
Right.
And it manifested so quickly. I was just, even today, I just started crying and going, look at that. And she sent pictures of them loving on each other. And she said, I can't hardly even stand to go to work. I want to be with my dog all the time.
Oh.
She said he's just, incredible, and he's very well trained because I trained him, and that was my part in that soul contract with him. Mm-hmm. It was definitely a soul contract with him, and I did my part, and now he's with the person he's supposed to be with, and they're inseparable. It's awesome. It's beautiful. And so, yeah, that's what happens. So, let's see here. Let's move on to the next question here. And again, put your questions in, everybody, as they come up. Can you really fully integrate that? Yes. Yes, you can, but you're integrating. When you integrate, you're actually transforming, that energy. You're transmuting that energy. Is it possible to be objective and identify our own shadows? And I love this question. This is so good, Trigger. Yeah, it's so good. And identify our own shadows, or must we seek neutral, objective, professional?
Ooh. I want to answer this one.
Okay. Go, Ferris.
Because I've been thinking about it a lot.
Okay.
Yes, it is possible. But let me give you an example, a metaphor. I like to work on my car a lot. When it breaks, or I'll just break something so I can work on it. And if I work on it long enough, I can fix it. But I can fix it a lot easier if I get somebody to show me how. Mm-hmm. So my idea is you really need to be subjectively objective. Mm-hmm. You need to feel what's going on. But you need to be aware, objectively aware, that you're feeling and experiencing. And someone who is completely third-party objective can't do that. I don't think.
I don't think so either.
They can't do the subjectivity piece. No. Is that what you mean? They can't do the feeling.
I don't think someone who is completely objective can identify and integrate your soul shadows.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Or your shadows, period.
But I love that, subjectively objective. That's brilliant, in Aquarius. There you go.
What do you think?
There you go again, being brilliant, Ferris.
Well, you stated it perfectly, Ferris. And this is what I tell people. You know, this is a group. If you were to do this with a one-on-one coach, it would be much more expensive. We're doing this as a group, and we're keeping this group small so that we can work with everybody, just like we did with the theologies, for those of you who were in that class as well, because then we can get to everybody. We can interact with everyone, and that's what we want. And so this gives you that opportunity. And sometimes we can work through them. I think some of our shadows we can do on our own, absolutely. But if it's a biggie, I think having other people's perspective, not just ours, everybody coming to the table that is, you know, we have a contract, a soul contract, each of us that are choosing to go through this journey. We have chosen to do this together, and we are all going to have ahas. It's not just from us. We're also going to be going, yes, I never thought of it that way. So, you know.
And you know what's so cool about this too? The fact that we're doing this with the sun in Aquarius starting and Mercury, because Aquarius is community. Aquarius is it is being with folks that are of similar or that are of like mind or birds of a feather, you know. So so again, I love that the fact that we're coming together, doing individual journeys together at a time, again, when the universe would really support that. Which means, and the beauty of Aquarius energy is everybody gets to be, and this is for everybody, whether you have Aquarius energy or not, everybody gets to be exactly who they are, the individual that they are within the group. That's what's so fascinating. Because a lot of times people stay out of groups because they think they're going to lose their individuality, which does happen for sure. But Aquarius energy is no, people come together to share, but nobody has to give up their individuality in order to be part of whatever the group is. So that's just another cosmic weather piece that's really exciting to me.
I love that. Beautiful. Okay, next one.
This is fun. I like this Q&A.
I know. I love it. This is great. And this next question is wonderful. And I know the person that wrote it. Once I realized who it was, I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, Marian. Yeah, thank you. I'm an enlightened badass, and she is. This is so her.
Marian, you are a badass.
Yep. What if I'm proud of my shadows and want to keep them? You know, I think that's beautiful because once again, it's not about getting rid of the shadows. It's bringing that energy from the shadow into the light where we can use it in a positive way, where we can, and I know you, and I know that the work that you've done around this and bringing that badass motorcycle chick with you into the, you know, and standing up for yourself. And you know, and this woman, by the way, she's a bit buxom, and you don't think that badass attitude would come in handy when men are ogling her? I have seen it in action, and it works, and she does it in a beautiful, loving, respectful way, but in an emphatic way so nobody messes with her again. Am I right, Ferris?
Yep. You're right.
Yep. And she's got it. She's doing it. So it's beautiful. It's beautiful. So I thank you for the question, because you can keep them, but it's about using the energy for the light and not the dark. Does that mean you'll never go off, that you'll never lose it, that you'll never have a temper tantrum? That doesn't mean that at all. We are human. And we also have to realize that there are things that affect us, like the astrological weather. You know, that affects me greatly. Storms affect me. When there's a storm going on, oh my gosh, I can't even sit still. I get hyper. I'm that way today because there's some really heavy duty weather moving into our area, and I can feel it coming, and I'm just, all day I couldn't hardly sit. I was like, I've been like this because it affects me. The other things that affect us, the food that we eat, our hormones, we talked about this, Lorelei,
Yeah.
our hormones greatly affect us. And, you know, some days we can handle things, other days we can't. It gets easier as we get older and our body starts to lose our hormones. You know, they're at a minimum. That's why our wisdom can come forward as we get older, and it's easier to self-actualize as we get older because all of those survival hormones are not in the way of our personal growth.
Yeah, makes total sense.
Yeah, so that's part of the equation. Okay, anything you want to add to that?
No.
No? Ferris?
No.
Okay.
Well,
Let's see here.
Okay, yes, wait.
Okay, all right.
Not about killing your shadows.
Right.
That's all.
Okay.
Well, I mean, and in a way, really, it's what relationship do I want to have with this? What relationship am I having with the control or the anger or the whatever it is? I mean, it is a relationship because we don't kill it. We decide how we're going to express it and how aware we want to be. So, you know, being a Libra, I'm a big relationship person in terms of not just to people, but what's my relationship to the car, the money, the food, whatever it is. Well, the shadow's no different, you know, and since we've decided to do this, I'm actually doing that consciously with parts of myself that I would define as shadow. And it's, and it's like illuminating something that I didn't see before. So that's really exciting to me.
And there's some shadows, as everyone knows, that you're not even aware of, but other people can identify them for you. And
they're very willing to do that.
Yeah. We all have frenemies, and we need to listen to what they say, you know, because there may be a shred of truth in what they say sometimes, and we've got to step back and go, okay, what part of that, you know, is me, and open our eyes to it, even if it's very uncomfortable. I've certainly had to do that, and you know, I love the people for it because it's helped me on my path to becoming a better me, the best me that I can be during this journey.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else?
Nope.
Okay, the next question. I love this question, and this was actually asked by more than one person, so I kind of condensed it. And Lorelei is one of our teachers. So I assume that the astrological signs come into play with the shadow. Yes, it does. And so she kind of answered that before. But can you give an example? Like, you're a Libra. From a Libra perspective, talk about some of the strength, and then talk about some of the things that are innate with a Libra.
I hope I don't lose my sound during this.
Okay.
Because, so again, we're always at, did I do
No,
that?
you're good.
You can hear me. Okay. So shadow. Okay. So Libra, again, we're always at choice. There's a continuum. So the unconscious end of the continuum would be where the shadow starts. So positive qualities of Libra, or I should say conscious qualities of Libra, are gracious and rapport and sharing pleasure as I love to say, in a spirit of harmonious interaction. Shadow aspects of Libra are people-pleasing, approval-seeking, wishy-washy, indecisive, disingenuous, and codependent. Need I say more? I mean, you know, so again, the beauty of it is when we bring it into the light and go, oh my God, look, accommodating. I forgot the word accommodating.
Oh, yeah.
Overly accommodating.
Mm-hmm.
Like for Libra, it can be hard sometimes to say no because people with Libra energy don't want to piss people off. So a very Libra that I'm very fond of would say, instead of no, this person would say, well, I don't mind if I wouldn't mind if I didn't have to, instead of just saying no, right? Because of that apparent not wanting to piss people off. But that's not what it's about with Libra. With Libra, it's about how to work with confrontation in order to bring things back into balance and into peace. Because You guys that have Libra energy, if you look around your life, you may see more discord than you think that you want. But that's because part of what Libra comes in to do is to bring things back into balance. Well, how can you bring things into balance if they're not in discord? If they're out of, they have to be out of balance.
Right. Absolutely. And, you know, I look at this and then I also think, okay, now I've got Libra also. So
Yeah.
I get it totally. And then psychologically, you know, I have a strong lamb personality, you know, the people pleaser. You know, being a doormat is common with people that are a lamb personality. You know, they tend to follow, want to please other people, be there, you know, and you can tell that I'm a lamb just because look at all the people that come in and out of my house. I'm always, I've always got somebody living with me, you know. I have a hard time saying no to people. And the way that I deal with this is to script what I say. So, you know, I will always start now with the answer. I'm going to start off with my answer, and my answer is no. And now let me tell you the rest of the story. So then I fill in the blank, but I always start with the story, the bottom line. What is the bottom line? The bottom line is no, and here's the why. So don't start off with the why and then the no. Start off with the no and then the why.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, and then you've got your message out there, and there's no.
Well, and there's another thing for Libra, people with Libra energy. It's to get to a point where one is willing to stand firm on the ground in the conflict of something with the intention to create peace. In other words, as opposed to bending over backwards and being a doormat or whatever, to hold firm with the intention to create peace in the discomfort of confrontation, which Libra hates. Because again, confrontation is, oh my God, not only am I not pleasing them, they hate me.
Yep. Oh, that's, I so get it. And all three of us, and Ferris is the same way. Ferris is exactly the same way.
Nuh-uh.
Nuh-uh.
Okay, maybe.
Okay. Anything else you want to add to that, Ferris?
No.
Okay. All right. You want to go ahead and before we get to this last question here, let's go ahead and see if there's any other questions.
I've been answering questions, but they've been technical questions.
Okay. What are the shadow sides of a Sag?
Yeah, I just saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Sagittarius, yeah, so any fire sign, the part of the shadow can be arrogance, can be know-it-all, because fire people do know things instinctively. So Sagittarius can exaggerate. Sagittarius, you know, again, all signs again have their shadow, but there is that sort of know-it-all quality about Sag. And there's a, you know, there's a don't fence me in, I want to be free. You know, Sag is one of the two most freedom-oriented signs in the zodiac. So part of that Sagittarius shadow can be, you know, that over freedom, you know, where they're not connected to other people because there's such a need to fly free. But primarily the arrogance of fire is certainly can be dominant in the Sag personality for sure.
And as we go through this, we will go through the shadows of each of the signs, and you know, and we'll have an open discussion on how people have dealt with that, if they've been able to, because sometimes you can't, you know, sometimes you can't do it on your own. So we will definitely be working through those. Any other questions?
Anne wants to know, is not wanting to be here a shadow?
Not wanting to be here with us or not wanting to be on the planet?
Yeah, the bigger
Be on the planet. Yeah.
Oh, she didn't have anything against you.
No.
It's all of us.
Well, see, I would love to probe that more deeply, you know, that in the class, you know, because that's really significant, you know, and is mirroring, I'm sure, others of us that are in this energy right now together, you know, not wanting to be here. I would, you know, I'd be asking some questions about, you know, not wanting to be here again because maybe things are too heavy, or maybe she hasn't been able to shine light on parts of her that would perhaps work, shift that. And it's not to say that that's wrong either. So the interviewer in me would wanting to be,
Yeah, we would want more information in order to really, is it that the veil between this side and the other side is very thin, and you remember, that's always a possibility. I know people that remember the other side, children, a lot of times children.
If she wants to put her birthday in, I'd be happy just to go to my thing and look and just see if I get any, initial insight, because I would imagine she's speaking for a lot of folks now with the shifts that are going on. It's sort of like, and maybe it's as simple as, I don't want to be here in what's not changing in my life. Like where I'm stuck, I don't want to be here. I want something to shift. It may be bigger than that. It may be a combination of that. It may be, as I said, John calls it a combo plate.
That's a great way to put it.
That's one of his favorite expressions. It's a combo plate.
Yep. Okay, new messages. Ferris, can you see them? Let's see here. Okay. You see, I'm not wanting to be here, a shadow specifically. We'd have to probe more information. 7/10/1941.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I would say, well, let's see what you have there first.
I'm going to go to my.
Yeah. So I'm going to just repeat the information while she's looking that up of when this program starts. It is starting on Tuesday. And again, it's a small group of people. We're keeping it small so that we can really deep dive into whatever is your need for working on shadows and identifying your soul shadows and finding the magic with them in them. So we're keeping this small. It is on Tuesday. It's at 7 Eastern, and it's 90 minutes to 2 hours, and that will be based on the work that we're doing. We're not ones that are so, it's got to be exactly this time. If we're in the middle of a conversation, we're not going to cut somebody off. So that's why we're flexible between it'll be 90 minutes for sure. If we have something going on, a good conversation, we're not going to stop that conversation. We're going to keep moving. But we would like to cut it at 2 hours because people get tired. And then there will be a potty break halfway through. We do suggest that everyone come comfortable. I actually got some new lounging pants today, which I have on right now, and they are awesome, and they're nice and soft, and they're comfortable. So if you're sitting for a while, they feel yummy on your body. I suggest that. Just get totally comfortable. We've had people before laying down in their bed, being comfortable. That's what we want. Get a little something to snack on, keep yourself well hydrated, and then just get up and go to the potty whenever you need to. But we'll have a potty break halfway through.
I have some info. I think her name is Anne who asked that question.
Yes.
7/10/41. So this is just intuitively, Anne, what comes to me, because again, we're not conversing, but okay. So it's so funny. It's interesting too, because when that question was asked, I thought to myself, I wonder if this person has Cancer energy. And because Cancer, people that come in with Cancer energy, part of, I guess it would be a soul contract, can be to work through abandonment issues, to really consciously decide if they're going to be their own mother or not. You, Anne, have a lot of fire in your chart. You've got Aries energy. Well, that's not easy for a Cancer to be a warrior, but it's both and. You came in with that. You also came in with the planet of power, the shadow planet, Pluto, right next to the planet of relationship in Leo. So there's a lot of, because I just saw your other message about wanting to go home in peace with God. I think that's because perhaps you haven't yet been able to create peace within yourself. These are very different energies, because there's a part of you that's courageous and brave and could fight, or could have had to learn self-reliance in your life, could have felt alone a lot. There's the abandonment piece. but becoming your own mom, this is for everybody, but I'm speaking to you, becoming your own parent. I would say the shadow piece, if you will, would be the lack of integration of all of that, or the lack of honoring of it. You know, it could, that warrior part of you could be really scary to you. I don't know. This would be, this would be what we would be probing, if you will, in the class, because you came in with wanting to integrate this warm, sensitive, wanting to feel safe and secure, yet at the same time they gave her a sword and say, or a sword and said, go out and fight. So I would imagine some of what prompted your question comes from what might have been difficult for you to align within yourself in this lifetime. Does that make sense, Cindy and Ferris? What I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yes. Well, beautiful. Well, I hope that she has the opportunity to journey with us, because that would be wonderful to probe into and to get feedback from everyone. So one of the questions that we had over here is, where's the information about the cost? The cost is $247, and you can do 2 payments. So we would take the first one would be right away. The second one would be in 30 days. Is that right?
30 days, yeah.
Yeah, in 30 days would be.
There's no interest fee.
Yeah, we don't charge any interest fee on that. So 2 payments is fine on that. And we just want the people that are supposed to journey with us to be able to afford to do so. So, we want to make that easy for you. And the URL is energizedlivingtoday.com/SoulShadows. And you'll get to the page. And by the way, I want to talk about the page.
That's in chat, by the way. I just put it there.
Good. Okay, so you'll be able to click on that link.
Oh,
and I want to.
And Anne is already with us.
Oh, she is. Great.
Yes.
Good.
Great.
Excellent. Yay, Anne.
You just reminded me. And
Thank all of you who are joining us for this beautiful.
I'm thrilled. That's great.
Yeah, that's me too. I'm excited. I want to say, this last weekend I was not able to work on our page, explaining the class as I wanted to. Last week it was kind of put together quickly. I had a kitty that died, and it was a 3-day process. It was very painful, and my creativity just was out the window, and it took me a little while to recover. And what happened was Lorelei said, I think it would look good in blue. So she gave me a challenge, and I thought, I don't have time. But then I started playing with it, and oh my gosh, the creativity, she challenged my creativity. And for me, I love a challenge. I'm an athlete. And that's one of, it was a shadow, or has the potential to be a shadow, but I actually drug it into light when I was very young, and I use it all the time. And that challenge she gave me just sparked my creativity, and that funk I was in from losing my kitty after 17 years just went away, and this fun side of me come out. And I love this page and the colors, and that is thanks to Lorelei. So thank you, Lorelei.
You're welcome.
And it does look good, y'all.
It does. It's beautiful. I love the logo, the change in the logos and everything else, and just that bump of creativity. And when this is, again, if you know that you have a shadow, you've worked with that shadow, and you drag it sometimes out into the light. Sometimes it has to be, kicking and screaming, but you get it into the light. That's what happens. Yeah. It was a challenge for me. And at first I'm like, I don't know. Yeah. I can do
well,
that.
And again, I don't know what's entailed, what it takes to build those things that you build. So I'm just kind of looking at it going, gee, it would be cool if, because I was aware that I had engaged your Virgo side.
Yeah. And the Virgo came out at first, but then the creative Pisces came in.
Right, exactly.
And said, I can do this, and ended up loving it. So I just think it's beautiful, and it's your challenge. So thank you.
Did you want to address the friend thing, the friend question?
Yes.
Yes.
That's the other question. That was the question that we got. And I thought this was wonderful. And oh, I didn't write down who said this. Ferris, do you remember who?
No, I don't.
Who it was? Karen. It's Karen. Okay. Which Karen? I have Karen here, but I don't have a last
Karen.
Yeah, I don't know which Karen. Anyways, she said she's ready to sign up. She wants to join us. She said, and I love the concept of the soul shadows. She said, I've invited a friend too to journey with us. I'm hoping that she'll sign up. If she does, do I get a discount? And so we've been thinking about it, and we thought, and I love, she says, I'm a penny pincher. Is that
part of the shadow?
That's not a shadow necessarily.
It can be. Does it control you? And I think that's really important. If it controls you, it's a shadow. If it's something where you're just frugal and, sometimes we bring in that frugality from is that a word? Or did I just make it up? Frugality, you bring that in from another lifetime. I believe I have. Because
but if you're philanthropic and it controls you, it's a shadow.
Well, true. So if you're giving all your money away, and there's not enough to supply your own needs, so yes, then it would be a shadow. But to answer the question, if you have a friend that also wants to do it, what we have decided to do, what did you decide to do, Ferris?
We'll $15 discount for each of you.
$15 for each of you. Okay,
yes.
So that would be a total.
What you need to do is you need to email me and let me know.
Okay, can you put your email address in there? So if anybody wants a friend.
Memorized.
Okay. All right, that's fair enough.
If I can spell it.
So if you are inviting a friend, then that would be the discount on both sides, $15 on both sides. That's pretty good.
Yep.
So let us know, Karen.
So email me and give me both names.
Yep. And then Ferris will take care of it on his end. So thank you for the question.
You've heard of twin flames? This is twin shadows.
There you go. That's great. Okay. Any other questions? You see, I'm registered. I'll be there. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Michelle. The loss of my fur baby. Yeah, she was our mama kitty here for 17 years. That was that's been hard. And I had washed her bowl and I forgot about that. I had dishes in the dishwasher and opened it up to put them away, saw that and just you know how that is. And it's hard. But again, when you have a grief like that, this is what I've discovered in this. And then one of your shadows is activated, especially one that you brought into the light, then it changes your mindset. And it put me back in motion because it does affect you. Whether it's a person or one of your fur babies, it's a member of your family. And it's very difficult, the things that we go through. So, it reactivated my creativity.
Cindy, there are two astrological questions. Hi, Liz. Curious about how that might be with Capricorn. So in other words, the shadow. So let's talk about the conscious Capricorn energy, which is succeeding, achieving, accomplishing, having a goal, being committed to it, being responsible, being disciplined. Now, a shadow Capricorn energy, judgment is a Capricorn. It's kind of like, this is good, this is bad, this is right, this is wrong, having to conform to society. So judgment can be a big Capricorn shadow for sure. And overly serious, sometimes depression. And depression for Capricorn folks can come from that outer definition. If I'm not measuring up to what the society says is success or failure, that could certainly feel depressing, if I'm still trying to live up to an authority in my life. So, but again, a big Capricorn shadow is judgment. And then there's another question from Stephanie about if I'm an Aquarius with Scorpio rising. Well, again, Aquarius energy is air, and it's very much about being the witness as well as it's all about originality and brilliance. And there can be an aloofness to Aquarius in its being able to witness. Then the Scorpio energy, of course, is the deepest, darkest. So somebody with Aquarius and Scorpio energy, actually, this is you, Ferris. You're not Scorpio rising, but your moon is. It's the integration of being able to witness and be aloof and step back from things and then be in the middle of it at the same time. In other words, because Scorpio wants to get its hands dirty. It wants to be intimate, and it wants to, have no barriers, and it wants to expose and reveal, where Aquarius is more, let's step back and let's witness and observe. That's the other quality for Aquarius. It's the observer, it's the witness. So again, these two energies are very different, and they have different shadows. But again, it's like, I'm seeing the shadows dancing with it. I mean, I'm seeing this whole dance of shadow that we're talking about. I'm seeing the flow and the back and forth. So again, this would be something we'd go into more deeply, obviously, in the class.
And it is a dance. That's exactly what it is. It's a dance, and you can let it step on your toes, or you can be in harmony. And that's where transmuting that energy is really key. Okay, other questions? Okay, let's see here. Let me see. Oh, Mary and her buddies? Okay.
Mary and Ann. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Cool? Great.
I didn't know
Wonderful. Perfect. Okay. Let's see. We're looking through to see if there are any others. I am Mountain Time. Then it's 5:00. Yes.
That was for me.
Okay. All right. And then 4:00 would be Pacific Time. Let's see here. Anything else?
No.
Okay. I'm not seeing any other questions. Anything that we missed? Go ahead. There's a couple new messages in there, Ferris. You want to? Okay. Melissa?
Aquarius and Leo moon. I'm not sure what the question is, but.
Stephania. Okay.
Aquarius and Leo moon is rising. My empathetic, intuitive parts seem to see shadow in others and have been, I guess that's introspective in my shadow that will help me change this. I'm not sure I understand what she's saying.
Aquarius Sun, Leo Moon, Aries Rising.
See, none of that's the intuitive part of you, Melissa. The intuitive part must be Pisces or something water, because intuition is water. Mm-hmm. And these are all male energies. Aquarius is male. It's an air sign. Leo is fire. Fire and air are male energies, which again has nothing to do with gender or sexual preference. It's action. And the water and earth signs are receptive. They're feminine energy. So your intuitive qualities are not in those three.
Oh, Aquarius and Scorpio. Oh, okay. That was
Stephanie.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, great question. Lorelei, you have my birthday info from our ologies class.
No, I haven't, Heather. We're good.
We're good. Okay.
Excited. You're going to
Yay. Yay. And Farrah says, you and me, baby. Great. Well, if we don't have any more questions, everybody, then, this, I hope, answered your questions. And so you can better decide if this is the right journey for you to be on. We feel like the timing is absolutely perfect to work on this. And we are excited to journey with all of you. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be so enlightening for all of us. And I look forward to those of you who have been in our other classes that are joining us again. And for those of you who are new, welcome. And we look forward to working with you and going on this journey together. Anything you want to add, Lorelei and Ferris?
Just, the moon's in Scorpio now, and tomorrow, Tuesday, the moon will be in Sagittarius. So we can bring a lot of enthusiasm and optimism and truth to the shadow process.
Beautiful.
And this is going to be great. The only thing that could be better is if we could all get in the shower together. But that ain't going to work.
I think your Scorpio moon is talking.
Oh,
I think
That's the
what he
side
means
of
by that, everybody, if we could all get together and share ideas, because that's where the ideas come from.
that's where the ideas come from.
All right.
Coming from, yes.
Look at me. I'm going right to the Scorpio energy.
Yeah. Dirty mind.
Yeah. Nope.
Go take a shower.
So everybody, we are so thrilled to be having you join us. We will see you on Tuesday. And if you have any questions, Ferris, you want to go ahead and drop in my email address, use the Energy Coach address.
Okay.
Because only students have that. Please do not email me there unless you are a student, because, and unless you're considering being a student, because that's reserved specifically for, the people that are joining us on these journeys. So,
okay, let me.
That clean. The other ones, by their email addresses, I get thousands of emails every day, and I don't get through them all, believe me.
And y'all check my spelling. It's supposed to be Cindy@theenergycoach.com.
Yes.
Oh, I just sent it to Stephania. Why don't I just send that to everybody?
Okay.
And Ferris, will you send my my email address so they can send me their birth information, the ones I
Yeah, it's in the autoresponder once they
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yep.
Yeah, and I'm going to send out another reminder to everybody as well.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Okay, everybody. Much love to you. Thank you so much for joining us. And hopefully we will see you on Tuesday. Mwah. Namaste.
Namaste.
Namaste, and I send you all light.